There's a comedian who says, no woman is going to get intimate after one date. What do you think she is? 3 dates. They get to know each other. He says, what did you get to know? That he can show up where he promises to be? That's how it's supposed to be. Completely objective, impersonal. So one of the strong points in the book is that you must use a shadchan. It doesn't matter what age, it could be you're getting married for the 3rd time. You have to use a shadchan. And a shadchan should not quit or let them go until there's an engagement. And maybe even after that. So this new style of saying, once you've dated 2 times, you give each other your number and you don't need me anymore. It's not true. You need a shadchan throughout the whole thing. The purpose of the shadchan, one of them anyway, is to make sure that there's no misunderstanding and that nobody gets hurt. So, for example, a girl goes out with a guy. She does not really enjoy it, the first date. He's a little dense. He doesn't get it. He had a great time. He thinks it was wonderful. So at the end of the date, at the end of the evening, he says, you want to meet again tomorrow? That should not happen. Because what is she supposed to say? She doesn't want to hurt his feelings, and she doesn't want to go out with him again. So she's going to kind of say, yeah, okay. He thinks he's getting married. So she goes out with him a second time, and she really doesn't want to be there. He likes it. So again, he says, can we meet again? Well, now they've met twice. It's a little harder to say no. So she says, yeah. He says, horrible. That's what the shadchan is there for. Another very important thing is, let's say they go out 6, 7, 8 times, and he decides no. How is he going to tell her? He's going to take her out. I'm going to tell her over the phone. Text her that he doesn't want to marry her. He's going to take her out to tell her that he's not marrying her. She's going to say, why? And there's going to be trouble. They claim closure. It's a good thing because we have closure. You don't have closure, you have disaster. A woman tells me that she hasn't gone out for anybody for 3 years because the last guy she went out with, they went out a few times and he said no. And she asked him why. And he's an honest guy, a little naive, but honest. He says, because you're so skinny, you remind me of the pictures of the Holocaust. She was so traumatized, she wouldn't show up in public. And if you ask him, why did you do that? What's he going to say? She asked me, I told her. She shouldn't have asked, he shouldn't have answered. That whole thing should not have happened. With a shadchan, she calls up, or he calls up and says, no more, I don't want to go with her anymore. And there are no questions. So when she calls, the shadchan says he's not in. He doesn't think it's going to work. Why? I don't know. So here's a few scary things. Talking to a bacher, a good bacher. He says, I went out with this girl, we met a few times, and we broke up. I said, you broke up? What kind of language is this? What broke? You met her 4 times. What is that, an addiction that you had to break? Where's this language coming from? There is no breaking. There is no heartbreak. There's no heartache. There's no insult. There's no rejection. when there's a shadchan. But as soon as they have each other's number, they might as well be married. They can't say no to each other anymore. Unless they're cruel. We can't do this. You got to play by the rules. The rules are you don't date anybody, you have a meeting. There's a comedian who says, no woman is going to get intimate after one date. What do you think she is? 3 dates. They get to know each other. He says, what did you get to know? That he can show up where he promises to be? What did you get to know? That's how it's supposed to be. Completely objective, impersonal. I say, like window shopping. You go into a shoe store, you say, do you have the shoe in my size? No. We're going to break up. You go to the next store. That's how it should be. There's no heartache here. And there's no insult. And there's no, why? Why won't you marry me? I only met you twice. What is this? The other thing is that dating has to be very selfish. People are nicer to their dates than they are to their husbands. It's backwards. The whole world is confused. When you're dating, you're nice and you're thoughtful and you're paying attention. Why? Why, when you go out on a date, which we shouldn't call it that even, why, when you go out on a date, do you want to make a good impression? Why do you want to make a good impression? It's a total stranger you're meeting. You're there to see if he makes a good impression. It's totally selfish. So when people ask, how much do you share? What should... Nothing. You're there to check him out. Yeah, well, what is he going to think of me? What do you care? He's a stranger. So this pressure and this tension, make a good impression, be a little funny even though you're not funny, or don't be so funny, be serious even though you're not serious. What are you trying to trick him into marrying you?